I started wearing eyeglasses in middle school, eventually traded them in for contact lenses, and dealt for more than 25 years with such terrible nearsightedness that I could do just about nothing without some sort of vision correction. And then, once I finally became comfortable with the prospect of some sort of permanent fix, I decided to have LASIK surgery. The result was so amazing that I've often said my only regret was that I didn't do it sooner. And then, just as my ophthalmologist had warned, my naturally aging eyes made it challenging to read up close, a book, a computer screen, my watch, or even a restaurant menu. A decade or so after my LASIK surgery, my distance vision was still 20/20, but I resigned myself to buying reading glasses for the first time, which made a world of difference. So, why am I talking about my eyesight in a video about domain name disputes? Because Cybersquatters, in two recent decisions under the UDRP, the Uniform Domain Name Dispute Resolution Policy, took advantage of what I briefly thought would be the miracle solution to my close-up reading problems, allowing me to ditch my reading glasses just like I had ditched my distance glasses years ago. The two disputes both involve the trademark Vuity, which is the brand name of a drug that was just approved by the FDA, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, to treat presbyopia, the condition that causes close-range vision problems for me, and for 95% of all adults under a certain age, actually.
Well, now some eye-opening news for millions of Americans who wear glasses. New prescription eye drops became available today that could potentially replace reading glasses for people who have trouble seeing close up.
The first time I heard about Vuity drops, I actually doubted that they were even real. But a quick Google search led me to a New York Times article in December 2021 that said the drops improve close-range vision and could make misplaced reading glasses less of an inconvenience for many of the 128 million Americans who suffer from age-related deficits in near vision. I then found Vuity.com, the website for the drug's manufacturer, Allergan, which confirmed what I was reading. Vuity was the first and only FDA-approved eye drop to treat age-related blurry near vision, presbyopia, in adults. I was very excited to learn more about them, and although I was ultimately surprised to learn that Vuity drops were not something I wanted to try, and I'll explain why in a moment, I'm not at all surprised to learn that cybersquatters are already taking advantage of this new medical treatment. The two UDRP cases I mentioned a moment ago involve the domain names vuityeyedrops.net and vuityeyedrops.org. Both of these domain names were registered by the same registrant in December 2021, within days of the New York Times article I had read. And Allergan quickly filed two separate UDRP complaints for the domain names at the forum, just as its Vuity eye drops were gathering a lot of media attention.
The drops work by making the pupils smaller so they can focus on objects up close. Studies found side effects to be mild and included headaches and redness.
I visited the websites for both of the disputed domain names, vuityeyedrops.net and vuityeyedrops.org, shortly after the UDRP decisions were published in January 2022, and I found what appeared to be identical web pages using the Vuity trademark and logo, and prominently offering the ability to buy Vuity eye drops right there, just as easily as buying from any other e-commerce website. The websites sure looked a lot like Allergan's website, even using similar colors and photos. But the problem, well, there are many problems, but the primary problem seemed to be that these unauthorized websites allowed people to buy the eye drops without a prescription, even though the news articles I had read and Allergan's official website made clear that the drops were available only with a doctor's prescription. Now, I have no way of knowing what consumers would actually receive or whether they received anything at all if they placed an order on the websites using these disputed domain names. But I do know that ordering prescription medications from a website that doesn't require a prescription is not a good idea and potentially even dangerous. And obviously, Allergan didn't think it was a good idea for these websites to exist, which is why it filed the UDRP complaints to get them taken down. The registrant of the domain names did not file a response to either complaint, which meant, as both panelists said, that they should decide the disputes on the basis of complainants' undisputed representations, and that they should each draw such inferences it considers appropriate. In any event, both panelists found these to be straightforward cases under the UDRP's three-part test. First, that the disputed domain names were confusingly similar to the Vuity trademark because they contained Vuity in its entirety and merely added the descriptive words eye drops. Second, that the registrant had no rights or legitimate interests in either of the disputed domain names. And third, that both of the domain names were registered and used in bad faith. Now, among other things, here's what the panelists wrote in the VuityEyedrops.net case, and of course I'll need my reading glasses to quote from the decision. The resolving website displays complainant's mark and logo and purports to offer for sale unauthorized or counterfeit versions of complainant's products. Complainant's products are offered for sale without a prescription, even though a prescription is required for a consumer to obtain complainant's legitimate Vuity product. Under policy paragraphs 4C1 and 3, using a disputed domain name to pass off as complainant and offering either complainant's products without authorization or counterfeit products is generally not considered a bona fide offering of goods or services, nor any legitimate non-commercial or fair use. So in both cases, the UDRP panelists ordered the domain names transferred to Allergan, and presumably both websites will disappear if they haven't already, which is obviously the right result. Unfortunately, I didn't get the result I was looking for when I made an appointment with my ophthalmologist to discuss Vuity drops. Based on the size of my eyes, he said, I theoretically had an increased risk of a retinal detachment, which just didn't seem like a theory I wanted to test. Plus, I've also read more about some of the limitations of the Vuity drop, so I don't regret my decision. As for the decisions in the UDRP cases, it's clear to see that the panelists reached the right result, allowing Allergan to protect both its consumers as well as its brand, exactly what the UDRP was designed to do for trademark owners. If you want to learn more about the UDRP, please check out my masterclass on domain name disputes, as well as other resources on my Gigalaw website. And be sure to subscribe to the Gigalaw YouTube channel to be notified of future videos discussing other internet legal issues. Thanks for watching, and see you next time online.